lot of these guys actually take a moment and connect with your Creator. Probably a good idea when you're going 200 miles an hour, but what does that mean to you?
I mean, in Madison, Todd always comes by before the race, and we always pray by the car. And I mean, I pray in the car right before we go out to race. I mean, it's a very, very spiritual sport, and you see a lot of racing stars. I mean, they're all very spiritually bound.
Yeah, it's pretty evident. Like, you're seconds away from finding out what's on the other side, like a little insurance policy, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense. Now, where do you dream about going? What do you dream about achieving in the racing world?
I mean, we're here for one reason. I want to go to Sprint Cup and be a Sprint Cup champion one day. I mean, that's within our grasp, maybe 5, 6, 7 years. I mean, that's where I want to be, and we've taken all the right steps so far, and we're just going to keep moving up the ladder.
That's awesome. We will believe with you on that. We think that's cool. And this is my request. Don't forget the little people. So when you're on a cool track and you're like, hey, Jeff, why don't you come and I'll even pray for you. Just let me be next to the car before you go. You know what I'm saying?
No, I won't forget you guys. This is the first big public speaking thing I've ever done. So, I mean, I'll always remember this.
That's cool. Come on, we're going to remember you too. Come on. We're kind of wrapping up here, and our journey obviously doesn't end tonight because we get to cheer you on Saturday. But there was one element that kind of not shocked us, but there was one element about the racing world that we didn't know of. We didn't know the importance of it. Tell us about this role of a spotter, because I didn't have any clue of what a spotter was. I said it to the worship team backstage, like, yeah, it's really going to be cool. It's going to be this video about the spotter, and they're like, you mean stuff that gets spots out of the carpet? That's not exactly what I'm talking about. And then I gave him that look like, you are so stupid, right? Even though like a couple months ago I would have thought the same thing. Explain to us the role of a spotter.
I mean, our spotter he sits up in the crow's nest up at the very top of the track. I mean, and he's my guardian angel. He's my Jesus Christ. While we're up there, he's watching down on what I'm doing. And if there's a situation in front of me, he tells me what's going on in advance, so I know to watch out. And if we're racing in traffic, passing cars, and there's a car on the outside of me, and I have a really bad blind spot on my right side, he tells me that there's a car right next. There's a car right on top of me. And whenever I can move up, he says clear high. And whenever I can move low, he says clear low. And what I like is that he gives me options. If there's a time where I can move up or down, he says clear high if you want it. So like God, he gives me options, but in the end, he knows what's best.
That's cool. Now tell us the reaction time. Let's say you're clear, high, whatever your verbiage is. How long do you have to respond to what he says to you?
No time. You don't. There's a mirror up there, but you don't have time to look. You just have to trust that you're clear and go. I mean, if
you don't check it out first.
Nope. If you wait 1 second, it will be filled, and you just have to go.
Wow. And that could be the same. A wreck is about to happen in front of you. He gives you direction. It's like now. There's no 3-second delay. It's like right now.
Let's do it now, or you're probably going to get wrecked.
Has there been some times, tell us, a good time, maybe a bad time, that you listened to your spotter or you didn't listen to your spotter, and kind of the outcome of that?
I mean, there's a lot of good and a lot of bad. One of the bad ones that I remember is that I didn't follow one of his directions when he said clear low, and didn't take it, and there was just a line of cars behind me, and I fell back probably 7 or 8 spots. And I mean, there's really nothing you can do about it. You're trapped on the top. There's nowhere you can go. And the night we won, there was a lot of that was spotter telling me where the cars were at on the track, what I needed to do. He can see what my driving line is compared to the other drivers, and can tell me where I need to adjust and where everybody else is faster on the track.
It's awesome. We put some footage together as well about like the spotter, so that we can see the kind of inside workings of the spotter. So we're going to watch that. And in a minute, we're going to invite the race team, all those that are here, and we're going to pray for them, and we're going to believe for some cool stuff. But go ahead and watch the screen. This is the inside take of what the role of a spotter does for you.
of the spotter for us is just to be like our eyes in the skies. I mean, we have very limited vision inside the car to what's going on around the outside of us. So we have to rely on our spotter to tell us if there's someone coming up to pass us on the outside, on the inside, if they're closing up behind us, what's going on, if there's a wreck on the other end of the track. They need to be able to tell us where and when we need to slow down and what to be prepared for. So a lot of it's encouragement.
Nice and smooth, bud. Nice and smooth. Still there, clear off.
And if they say clear high, you don't have any time to look up at the mirror, check where you're going. You just have to put all your trust in them and go. Every time we're in the car, we listen to our spotter.
Still there. Driving away. Nice smooth rhythm. Go get them.
They've done it for a long time, and they can see things on the track that we can't. Your relationship with Christ in racing, it's a lot like your relationship with your spotter. I mean, you have to be able to listen to him and trust him and be able to trust that he's going to tell you the right thing to do. And just like with the clear high, if you want it, he gives you options in your life to be able to go what direction you want to go, as long as you're still following him. And it just gives you a lot of options, and you just got to trust him.
Probably all of us would agree we feel a little kind of connected to them a little bit now, hearing their story and know that we're going to go watch them race. It'd be cool for us as believers to kind of pray a blessing over their team, and I know they have hopes and dreams and aspirations. Come on. So we would just like to say that you've just kind of acquired some new fans from Rock First and the venue. So if you would be okay with it, we would like to kind of pray a blessing over your team and just believe God's best for you. Is that cool? Can we do that real fast? I know some of you, you want to talk and pray, but let's just do this, and then Tanner's going to be hanging out by the car, and you can ask him questions, and the team's going to be here for a few minutes. We'll be here for a little while. So let's do this. I'm going to pray something, but you don't have to, just pray your own prayer over them. Is that cool? You pray, I pray, and then we'll wrap this up. Proud of you, Tanner. God, we thank you for this journey we're on and the fact that you allow us to engage with other people in this kind of faith walk. And there's just people trying to do the very best they can with how you've gifted them, and you've given them abilities, and you've given them dreams, and we're just simply trying to be good. We're trying to take all that we have and make sure we're living to our full potential. And now we get to see this being lived out through the Tanner Whitten racing team and all that's involved with that. And we pray, God, your special blessing on them as they've been dedicated to saying, God, we want to be the greatest stewards of what you've placed inside us. We pray that you would bless that. You would cause your favor to be upon them as they engage with other drivers and they engage with other families and teams that maybe needing a little encouragement. Would you use them to bring encouragement to other people? Would you use them to bring hope to those that may be sitting in darkness and needing really some answer, some light? And would you use them to be light? And God, would you allow them to experience the favor even on the track? Number one, that you would somehow, in a really cool way, protect them from those crashes. Would you somehow keep them from all the very, very expensive